Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of 15 Minutes with the Captains. You got Captain Emmanuel of IUIC Arkansas. We're going to deal with is the 501c3 tax exemption and government funding wicked. All right, that's what we're going to deal with today. Let's start with that article. Let's put that on the screen. What is 501c3? What is this? Because Negroes will say anything. You just look at a Facebook post, take it and run with it. You think it's some damn Illuminati sacrifice. Let's see what it really is. All right, 501c3. Let's get that.
Article by Investopedia. What is a 501c3 organization? Section 501c3 is a portion of the U.S. Internal Revenue Code, IRC, and a specific tax category for nonprofit organizations. Organizations that meet Section 501c3 requirements are exempt from federal income tax.
That's what it's all about. You understand? That's 501c3 in a nutshell is you being a nonprofit organization, and due to that, you get tax exemptions. All right, go ahead.
While the Internal Revenue Service recognizes more than 30 types of nonprofit organizations, only those that qualify for 501c3 status can say that donations to them are tax deductible.
Right, because of course, as the church, we take donations, bills got to be paid, people got to be helped out in times of need, so on and so forth. We don't want the government to be able to put their hands in that. You understand? But let a Negro tell you wicked, you do the 501c3. Right? But okay, we gonna see, we gonna learn today. All right, go back, read the last paragraph.
Most of the organizations that may be eligible for 501c3 designation fall into one of three categories. Charitable organizations, churches and religious organizations.
Churches and religious organizations. So, of course, you got the Christian church. We don't align with them. We are not the same. You understand? However, we are an organized nation, that being Bible-based. So we fall into the category, right? Go ahead.
And private foundations. The rules outlined in Section 501c3 are regulated by the U.S. Treasury through the IRS.
Yeah, see, the IRS is wicked, brother. To Babylon, the devil, brother. Tax, evil, captivity, brother. All right, let's go to the scriptures. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 31. Start here.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it.
So Paul mentioned, right, about brothers and sisters in the church using the world. He didn't say that we are not to use the world. He said not to abuse it. You know what's funny? A lot of these people that say the 501c3 is wicked and we shouldn't seek for tax exemptions or whatever the case may be. You Negroes cool with food stamps. You're cool with welfare. Your wife probably use WIC for your child. You understand? Oh, that's cool. Your ass probably even did the PPP loan. But when it comes to tax exemptions, we can't use the world. You understand? A lot of y'all abuse. A lot of y'all be lying on them applications for your food stamps and so on and so forth. But we a real Bible-based movement. We a real religious organized nation. We qualify. You understand? That ain't abusing it. That's using it in wisdom. And we going to see if that aligns scripturally with our forefathers here in a second. Go ahead.
For the fashion of this world passeth away.
All right, go to Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 7. Yeah, you brothers, 501c3, y'all with the white man, y'all Masons. Y'all, man, get the hell out of it. Let's see what God said. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord.
When he keep the commandments, go ahead.
He maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
You'll even make your enemies to be at peace with you. Watch this. Proverbs 21 and 1. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
So the king's heart, that goes into the president, the governor, the prime minister, whoever is the ruler of the people. Guess what? His mind is in the hand of the Lord. Go ahead.
As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
So the Most High can turn the king's heart, even though, yes, he has us in captivity, but he can make the king's heart towards us for good if our ways please the Lord. And we're going to prove that. Go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1 real quick. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 1.
Watch this.
Exhort, therefore, that first of all, supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men.
Right, for all those that believe, for all the brothers and sisters in this truth. But watch this. Let's see what else. Go ahead.
For kings and for all that are in authority.
So kings and all that are in authority are to be in our prayers as well. Let's see why. Go ahead.
That we may lead a quiet and peaceable life.
And what?
A quiet and peaceable life.
Because remember, God said if our ways please him, he will cause our enemies to be at peace with us. You understand? So we want we don't want them making laws and all that to slow down the ministry. We want them to give us free course. You understand? So they in our prayers so we can lead a quiet and peaceable life in what?
In all godliness and honesty.
So watch this. This is an example. Baruch chapter 1, verse 11. See if our forefathers did. Let's see if y'all say Baruch, Jeremiah, and wicked. All right, Baruch chapter 1, verse 11.
The book of Baruch chapter 1 and verse 11.
Come on.
And pray for the life of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and for the life of Balthazar, his son.
Read.
That their days may be upon the earth as the days of heaven.
Come on.
And the Lord will give us strength.
So through the king them being in good health, right? Lord, read that again, verse 12.
And the Lord will give us strength.
So now the Lord will give us strength. Read.
Enlighten our eyes, that we shall live under the shadow of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
Read.
And under the shadow of Balthazar, his son.
Read.
And we shall serve them many days.
Here go the point. Read.
And find favor.
And do what?
Find favor in their sight.
That's why they're included in our prayers. You understand that they may show us favor in the land of our captivity for the purpose, for the greater good of the gospel, that the gospel be not hindered. All right, watch this. Go to 1 Ezra chapter 8, verse 19. Let's see if this has came to pass at some points in our history as the Israelites. 1 Ezra 8, verse 19.
The book of 1 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 19.
Go ahead.
And I, King Artaxerxes.
King who?
Artaxerxes.
That ain't no damn Israelite. It's a heathen king. King Artaxerxes, come on.
Have also commanded the keepers of the treasures in Syria and Phoenix, that whatsoever Esdras the priest and the reader of the law of the Most High God shall send for, they shall give it to him with speed.
Wait a minute. Now read verse 22. Watch this.
Verse 22. I command you also that you require no tax.
Oh, wait, hold the hell up. So you telling me that Ezra and them joined the Illuminati and the Lord let them just keep writing books in the Bible? The king, the heathen king, the government that had us in captivity, guess what? They gave out to the Israelites tax exemption. Read it again.
I command you also that you require no tax.
Come on.
Nor any other imposition of any of the priests or Levites or holy singers or porters or ministers of the temple or of any that have doings in this temple, and that no man have authority to impose anything upon them.
Read 25.
Verse 25. Then said Esdras the scribe, blessed be the only Lord God of my fathers.
Watch this.
Who hath put these things into the heart of the king.
Who have did what?
Who hath put these things into the heart of the king.
Because the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. That include Trump. That include Biden. That include these damn devils. Guess what? Ain't no power above God. God has the power to turn their hearts towards us for good. And that could be in the form of tax exemptions. We reading it. Go ahead.
To glorify his house that is in Jerusalem.
All praises. Go to 1 Maccabees chapter 10. Let's read verse 25.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 25. He sent unto him, therefore, to this effect, King Demetrius.
King who?
King Demetrius.
This is a Greek. This is not an Israelite. King Demetrius. Go ahead.
Unto the people of the Jews sendeth greeting.
All right, jump down to verse 29.
Verse 29. And now I do free you.
What I do?
I free you.
Free you from what? Go ahead.
And for your sake I release all the Jews from tribute.
What is tributes? Taxes. You understand? He released the Jews from all tributes. Go ahead.
And from the
See, what's wrong with praying for that? What's wrong with praying for that, brothers? Come on, man. Read on.
And from the customs of salt. And from crown taxes.
And from crown taxes. Read 31.
Verse 31. Let Jerusalem also be holy and free. With the borders thereof, both from tents and tribute.
So everything in the borders thereof, free from tents and tributes. Taxes. Watch this. Jump down to 33.
Verse 33.
Come on.
Moreover, I freely set at liberty every one of the Jews that were carried captives out of the land of Judea into any part of my kingdom.
Read.
And I will that all my officers remit the tributes, even of their cattle.
So guess what? The IRS officers couldn't touch us. You understand? They was commanded to leave us alone. Why? Because our ways please the Lord, and the Lord caused our enemies to be at peace with us. You understand? Watch this. Go to 1 Maccabees again, 13 and 36. Watch this.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse 36. King Demetrius,
the Greek, go ahead,
unto Simon the high priest, and friend of kings, as also unto the elders and nation of the Jews, sendeth greeting.
I guess Simon was wicked as hell. He called him a friend of kings. So Simon Maccabees was wicked as hell. He is Illuminati. The hell is this? Go ahead.
The golden crown and the scarlet robe which he sent unto us, we have received. And we are ready to make a steadfast peace with you.
Read.
Yea, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities.
The what?
The immunities.
The immunities. What? So you telling me that the Israelites, the Maccabees, received immunities from the government? Read on.
Which we have granted.
Jump down to verse 39.
39.
Watch this.
As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it. And the crown tax
and
also.
The what?
And the crown tax also, which he owe us. If there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid.
Debt forgiveness. Not just tax exemption, but tax debt forgiveness, brothers. Come on, man. Go to 2 Maccabees 3, verse 1. Let's just deal with government funding. Let's take a look at this. Read that.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 3, and verse 1. Now when the holy city was inhabited with all peace, and the laws were kept very well. Because
so this is not an out the spirit generation. This was before the wicked root Antiochus Epiphanes rose up. You understand? So you had Simon being the high priest. Or was it Onias? I believe, yes, Onias. The people was keeping the laws very well. We was in the spirit. Go ahead.
Because of the godliness of Onias the high priest and his hatred of wickedness.
So if what we're about to read was wicked, he would have hated it and not did it. You understand? Not allowed it, not agree with it. This brother had a hatred of wickedness. Go ahead.
It came to pass that even the kings themselves did honor the place.
So the kings themselves is referring to the heathens. Even they honored the temple. Go ahead.
And magnify the temple with their best gifts.
With their best gifts. So the enemies, the heathens, was giving us gifts. Go ahead.
And so much that Seleucus, king of Asia.
So Seleucus, one of the Greeks, one of the king over Asia, go ahead.
Of his own revenue.
Of his what?
His own revenue.
Of his own money, his own funds, being the king, meaning the government, read.
Bear all the costs belonging to the service of the sacrifices.
So Onias, it said he had godliness, he had a hatred of wickedness, but yet he took government funding to fund the sacrifices at the temple. Which y'all would have did? Stoned him? The hell is this? Huh. All right, let's go to Ezra 6 verse 1. We almost done. Some more history on government funding. All right, Ezra 6 verse 1.
The book of Ezra, chapter 6, in verse 1.
Come on.
Then Darius the king made a decree, and search was made.
Darius is not an Israelite. This is a Persian king. All right. Darius did what?
And search was made in the house of the rolls, where the treasures were laid up in Babylon.
Right. Now jump down to verse 3.
Verse 3. In the same year of Cyrus the king, the same Cyrus the king made a decree concerning the house of God at Jerusalem.
So what's happening is Darius, which came later, years after Cyrus, he finds the original decree that Cyrus put out to allow the Jews to go and build, because you did have nations come and hinder the building and cause our efforts to rebuild the temple to be discontinued, right? So when Darius came into rule, he found this old decree from Cyrus and he put it back into effect. Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Let the work of his house of God alone.
Uh-huh.
Let the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews build this house of God in his place.
Watch this.
Moreover, I make a decree what ye shall do to the elders of the Jews for the building of this house of God, that of the king's goods, even of the tribute beyond the river.
So of the king's goods, of the tribute that he collects from beyond the river, of his revenues. Go ahead.
For with expenses be given unto these men, that they be not hindered.
So we're going to give them government funding that the rebuilding of their temple be not hindered. Go ahead.
And that which they have need of, both young bullocks and rams and lambs, for the burnt offerings of the God of heaven.
Lamb, you name it. Look, listen, whatever we needed for the sacrifice, just like we read in Maccabees, for the sacrifice, for the holy sacrifices to be made. You understand? Government funded that joint. Go ahead.
Wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests which are at Jerusalem.
Read.
Let it be given them day by day without fail.
Let it be given them day by day without fail. Read on.
That they may offer sacrifices of sweet savors unto the God of heaven. And pray for the life of the king.
Like we read in 1 Timothy 2 and Baruch 1. Go ahead.
And of his son.
You see that? So brothers and sisters, stop listening to these black Hebrew Israelites that do not know the scriptures. Ain't nothing wrong with no 501c. Ain't no Illuminati, secret Masonic ritual taking place. Listen, it's the same thing our forefathers was able to do when their ways pleased the Lord. You understand? It's using the world but not abusing it. It's for the greater good of the gospel. Don't be simple. All right? So with that, we say shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.